Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be painting with Polymer clay. Now there are several people that have inspired this project or video. So the first person that inspired me was Earth Clay on Instagram, and she creates these cool pendant landscapes of different locations, and I actually own one of her pieces of work. The next person that inspired me for this project is Cami Studios UK on Instagram, and she creates a lot of pendants and jewelry and stuff like that. Now before watching any sort of video on how to do this, I wanted to do my own experimenting. So the first pieces I've made was this house earring thing, and what I did for the technique is I rolled out a sheet of Polymer clay through my pasta machine, and then I took various different colors and I rolled those into small logs and I smoothed them onto that sheet of clay to blend them together. This technique kind of stressed me out because I had to pick where I wanted the colors to go, and I had to think about whether it looked good if I blended it, and it was kind of hard to blend it with my finger, so if you do this I'd use some sort of tool. After I did that, I made some grass at the bottom with some darker clay. And then I used a cookie cutter to cut out a segment of that. And this is what it looks like. This was the first technique and I just recreated what I did. So yeah, this is what it looks like. So the next technique I decided to try out is by making gradients my own way, because I wanted the organicness of the blend. So what I did was I took a chunk of clay and then I added different segments to that chunk. I don't really know how to explain it, so it's kind of sporadic. And then I put it through my pasta machine and I rolled it out, and then I would fold it over as if I'm doing a gradient blend, and I realized I didn't have enough for it, so I ended up cutting it, and then I put it on each other, and then I refolded it and kept blending it. And yeah, this is what it looks like, and it's super pretty. I then used a cookie cutter and I just cut it out, and I realized looking at it, it kind of looks like a lake in the reflection, so you can see the sky in the lake. So I wanted to lean into that more. So on the middle part where they connect, I put some logs of green clay, and I made them to look like faraway trees, or like the island across the lake. I don't know. I didn't use a reference picture, but we'll get to that later. And then I just textured it. And then I wanted to texture the water so it looked like water rather than it just being plain. So I just used a dotting tool for that. For a final detail, I just used a small dot of yellow clay, and I made it for the moon or the sun. Honestly, I don't know. It's up for interpretation, I guess. I'm kind of mad at myself though because I realized I used a big cookie cutter. It's too big. But yeah, just check your cookie cutters. You obviously don't need cookie cutters, but we'll get to that later. So by this point, I kind of realized that I should probably start using reference pictures rather than coming up with stuff from my brain. So this is the first one I did with the reference picture, and I really like how this turned out. I used a combination of both techniques and everything. And then I also did this beach scene on a pendant. I added birds in the background. It wasn't on the original reference, but I thought it looked cool. And then on the back, there is a sea turtle that is not painted, it is sculpted. And then I also did this one where it's a sunset and it's a field of flowers, and this one's pretty simple and cool. And then I wanted to do a remake of the first one I did using all of the techniques I've experimented with, and this is what it looks like. Here's a quick montage of me making it because this was originally supposed to be like the video portion where I show you all of the techniques, but I didn't like how I filmed it, so you just get a brief glimpse of what I did. So here is the image that I chose that I was going to replicate with you guys. So first I picked out the colors that I wanted to use for the sky, and I made a gradient blend. For the backing, I ended up rolling out a thick sheet of scrap clay, and I cut the sky piece smaller, and then I put it on, and then I mixed up some green clay for the grass, and I just overlapped it with the sky. Instead of using a cookie cutter, I just used my blade and I cut out a rectangle. Then I used some orangey pink clay and I rolled it out into a thin log and I blended it onto the blue part of the sky for the clouds. After I used my needle tool and I drew a line of where I wanted the trees to sit. And then I took some blobs of dark green clay and I placed it for where the main trees go. I brought back my needle tool and I textured the trees along with the space in which the trees sit. While I was texturing, I forgot to add the blue clouds in the orange area, so I added those in off camera. Then I decided to texture the grass, and I used my dotting tool for this, and instead of going vertically with the texture like I did with the trees, I decided to go horizontally so it creates interest compared to the trees. I took some hot pink clay and I scratched some off with my needle tool, and then I placed it on for the flowers. The farther away the flowers are, the smaller I make the little scraggly bits, and then the closer they are to me, I make them a little bigger. And this is what it looks like all completed next to the reference picture. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which one was your favorite, and I will see you guys next time.